Recording is on. Well, as we can see, we're going to have a 10th attempt to elect the Speaker of the House. I'm not sure if the audio is coming in. I'm working on a different platform today. But it is obvious that all those hopes we had that we're going to have a Republican-led, red wave, controlled House is going to be for the better. It's actually been for the worse because they can't agree on the simple matter of a Speaker of the House. Last two tries, we've had the others as two people, then three people voting for Donald Trump as House Speaker. The part that irritates me the most is it's obvious McCarthy's not going to get it, so stop endorsing him. Stop saying his name. Find somebody else. But they don't want to do that. It's the Democrat Party versus the Republican Party. It's the red versus blue. It's a stupid label that is nothing meant for division. And this is what our Congress is, divided. Whatever happened to united we stand, divided we fall? We can't stand united. Our Congress can't stand united. Our Congress is only about one thing, themselves. Protecting the interests of big pharma, big corporations. Screw the little man. Screw the people that they're elected to represent. This is literally a mockery of our system. Before I went live, I was listening to one of the Republican speakers when he gave his endorsement for McCarthy. It's just sick. Honestly, it is. But what he said, he once again reiterated what Marjorie Taylor Greene reiterated, how whoever controls the House, while everybody's away doing who knows what, not in Congress where they're supposed to be, doing their jobs, at home, on vacation, living it up with some of these corporate entities, instead of being in there, listening to the votes, reading the bills, the majority just passes what the majority wants without everybody being present. And once again, it's been stated, and most people don't care about this. Most people, the last thing they're watching is this. And I get it. But if more people would see this, they would be sick. Would actually sit back and listen to some of these congressmen and women. And I know there's people out there, well, Donald Trump endorsed McCarthy. Why would, okay, so he did. He's an idiot. You want to endorse somebody who stabbed you in the back. You want to endorse something that the people are tired of seeing is career politicians, the rhinos. The ones that get in there and never make change. Okay, McCarthy did something great, brought back the ability to take away, to remove the Speaker of the House. Pelosi should have never changed that rule. It was in there for a reason, for when the House Speaker cannot do their job and control Congress to make sure Congress is upholding their duty and diligence to the people, we the people. That's the House Representatives' job. The Speaker of the House is to make sure that bills are coming before them that represent the people. They don't do it anymore. But yet, come election time, come primaries, we still keep putting these same sick individuals back into office who don't care about you. When this is all said and done, I'll be shocked if it goes on for another vote. I look for them to adjourn. Because that's what they're good at. They'll adjourn. Then they'll come back. Then they'll vote just to push it off to the next day. Right there, they need to stop that. You guys need to get on your phones, call your representative, tell them, no, we want a Speaker of the House. We don't want you to adjourn. We want you to do your job. Because while they're tying this up, they're not passing legislation, bringing bills to help us. Not like they're going to, but that's their job. Put an end to sending money to Ukraine. No, it's just like all the committees. They tie it up, and it becomes a distraction. It becomes wasting taxpayers' money. But most importantly, it keeps them off the floor, keeps them doing what they say they're going to do. Oh, no, this is more important. We're doing this. So they're not out there trying to pass bills and legislations to help the American people. So I'm sick of the behind closed door meetings. I'm sick of there's a reason why there's a rotunda. There's a reason why there's seats up there. That's for the American people to go in to make sure the representatives are doing their job. Nothing was ever supposed to be done behind closed doors. I know that for a fact because I'm a direct descendant of John Rutledge, and he's the one that originally had it so they couldn't do it until Congress got too corrupt and greedy and decided to change that. And literally, this is really a battle of Republicans and Democrats. They're fighting each other. Republicans got House control, but they don't got it when they're split amongst themselves because many of them don't want McCarthy. So what do? They vote other, or they'll vote, somebody's been voting president. Or they'll throw a vote to Donalds or Hearn just so nobody can get a majority vote. This is a joke. Honestly, pop some popcorn and enjoy the show. Because it is literally a three-ring circus. That's what our Congress has become. Our Senate's isn't even any better. There's so much things that need done in our country. There's so much. Our infrastructure needs fixed. Our power grids need updated and fixed. Our roads are in poor shape. So poor, most states have gotten so cheap, they don't even use real asphalt now. Which is a scam in itself because it means every year they got to redo the roads. Instead of paving a road and it lasts 5, 6, 7, 8 years, 10 years before they got to redo it again. But, much how we play the blame game, blame these guys, they point the fingers at us. Well, you guys aren't voting right. Well, one, it's not their job to tell us how to vote. One, I've seen a couple of people do some stupid polls about who do you think the next House Speaker should be? Should it be a Republican or a Democrat, Libertarian? Should be none of that. We're not supposed to be voting on labels. Because those labels are dividing us. Look at our Congress. Look how divided they are. 110, 105, 8, 3, 0, 0. And it'll stay that way. We're now going to an unprecedented 10th round of voting whenever they decide to do it. This is what I talk about when I talk about broken systems. And our biggest broken system is the people that we've elected, our government. This sent this country so far in debt, it's just a matter of time before it all comes crumbling down. It was funny at the beginning of the day. The whole Congress wasn't even present. In fact, I think it's still being listed as a, let me look, abdicated or abjured, something on the lines of abdicated. It's no longer showing. But they didn't even have enough people. I mean, when we elect these people, we elect them to actually be there and do their job, not wasting taxpayers' money on private jets, flying who knows where, going on vacation all the time, sitting at home. You know, you got McCarthy at the end of these things, and sometimes during, going there petitioning people to change their vote, making promises that don't benefit us. Enough of that. Me personally, it should be like baseball: 3 strikes and you're out. You've been nominated now a 9th time. Get the picture. The writing's on the wall. They don't want you. Do the honorable thing and step aside, and let's get on with it. But no, he won't do that because he was power hungry. He's lustful over power, which is always the problem. These people get in the office and they get a chance for these positions of power, and it corrupts them. They put their interest above the American people. If McCarthy was about we the people, he'd put we the people first and step aside so we could get an elected Speaker of the House. So he's no better than the rest of the cesspool of the swamp. And they're all guilty, Republican, Democrat alike. They have their own agendas. And that 90% of the time isn't what their representatives that they're supposed to be representing want. It's always some big corporation. Or let's restrict your people's freedoms even more. And obviously, this is the 3rd time Jeffrey since I've watched today, has been nominated. Step aside. Pick somebody that everybody the majority can get behind. Do the honorable thing, Jeffries. But no, you're the Democrat, and the Democrats want their man. You know, they've all said, even McCarthy said he's going to do anything and everything to disrupt this until he gets elected as Speaker of the House. Trump needs to set aside, shut his mouth, and not interfere in Congress. He's not a sitting president anymore. And I'm sorry, I'm tired of it. That's the same bad policies he made when he was picking his staff, picking people in positions. He picked the wrong ones. Why pick somebody that stabbed you in the back? Why would Marjorie Taylor Greene side with McCarthy, who's stabbed Trump in the back? That was always my issue with Trump. He picked these people that should not have been in those positions to pacify the other side. It's not about passing the other side, pacifying the other side. That's not what we elected you as a president for. That's not what we elected you to be our senators, our congressmen, our congresswomen. We elected you to put the American people first. But people, all these MAGA supporters, they get mad when you talk about stuff like that. Even though they've said it themselves, many of them. They didn't agree with some of the decisions you make. And we're supposed to be vocal when we don't. When we know they're doing something wrong, it's going to conflict with our interests. We have to be vocal. We have to speak our opinions and our minds about these things. And I am curious. I would love to see them release the phone calls that's been called in of their constituents that have told them to vote or not vote McCarthy. but yet they're up there doing it anyway. And most people all probably don't tune in. I mean, it's pretty much everywhere right now, but I'd much rather watch something else. I'd much rather talk about something else. But now, we're back to the broken system because this is the biggest broken part, the biggest cog in the wheel that's screwing us over repeatedly, constantly, and has been for decades. And without a united Congress, there's still going to be no change because we're not going to be able to get a bill past the president. He'll veto it. And it takes a majority of Congress to overturn a veto. So you guys think change is going to happen with this Congress? This 118th Congress? No. The perfect example, the very fifth day of the year, is right before it's happening now. This is what we should expect. Should have expected to begin with, because this should have been writing on the wall. Because it's always the same song and dance. You know, the messed up part, I never thought I'd ever say this. At least the Catholic Church gets it right when they elect a new pope. They take all the cardinals that are voting, are allowed to vote, put them in a room, shut the door, and it's padlocked until they adjourn, or in most cases, until they elect somebody. I think that's what we need to do with Congress. You want food, we can it can be delivered right to you. You're not leaving until you can find a way. I bet you a lot of this would change because they quickly understand, like, hey, we're screwing up. But no, they'll, like I said, I don't see them doing another 10th round of voting because they're going to want to go eat, have their dinner. Then they'll adjourn, come back. I think it's usually yesterday was 8 o'clock. And what was the first thing they do? Well, let's vote to adjourn till tomorrow. So we'll go be on another day of this. And it's something as historic and important as this. Unless they're sick in a hospital bed or sick at home with the flu, they should be mandatory that they have to be present and voting. Because that's what we elect them to. We don't elect them to be somewhere else while hearings are going on. I think that's the other issue. I think if people would actually take time to watch Congress in session and when they're doing bills, just to watch, they would be sick, mad. And that's where some of the problem lies. We don't do that because we don't have time. And honestly, guys, it's become so much easier to do streams like this now. Like I said, I've been using the Jitsi app for a while. Well, I just stumbled across it. I think I stumbled when I first started doing it because that's where I got my app from. It was from meets.just or meets.jitsi.com. Guys, you can go there. It's free. Type in your room name and be able to host a live stream or a private stream, record it. Because that's what I'm doing right now. Because I haven't been, actually never been went to the actual website for this to do it. I always do it from the minds, from my group on the gathering. Because they call it gathering. You just click on that, it takes you to the Jitsi app. But I have more options being over here, actually from the platform. It's free. I can stream. I can set a private room up or a waiting, basically like a waiting room, which I could never do before. And now screen callers so we don't get those spammers that come in here and just want to say the N word repeatedly, then run, trying to get your stream taken down, even though they'll probably slide through. There's a lot more I can do now. And I can stream right to YouTube. Record it, take my recording, upload it in the other platforms. But now, if YouTube ever decides to cut me midstream, now I never have to worry about losing a There's another person that needs to be brought up on ethic violations. Maxine Waters. The very same thing she got mad and accused Trump of doing, she actually did. Well, we're in the W, so the voting's almost done. So it will be interesting to see if they go another 10th vote or vote to adjourn till 8 o'clock. I know yesterday they didn't go no more than three times around. In fact, I don't even think they went 3 times around. I think they went 2, adjourned, we'll be back at 8, and that was the end of that. because here on the East Coast, it's definitely going on. Now they're going through, for those that weren't present to vote or still not present to vote, trying to get their votes. Well, they got that done, so now we're just waiting for them to tell us what we already know. There's a majority of votes, so let's get on either with the next round or which I think is going to happen, which I don't think is going to happen, and adjourn till later this evening, which will end up being tomorrow. You'll come back and, we just want to adjourn for till tomorrow. Victoria Sparks is the one that keeps voting present. She's from Indiana. Wow. I don't know if you guys heard that. I'm not sure if that part of the audio is coming through. But McCarthy says we should celebrate the lengthy process. No, we should not. Because that would be celebrating a division in our Congress. That would be celebrating a division amongst our Republicans, amongst the Democrats, amongst the independents, or whatever they want to label themselves. Because they're not the representatives of the people, the Americans. Four and a half hours. You guys, I think you guys wondering, we're watching C-SPAN. Give them credit. But you don't need C-SPAN. I mean, I normally watch all the stuff over on house.gov. Or you can just type in live.house.gov and it'll bring you up. You just click on watch and click on the little image and it'll show you. But what I like about, either whitehouse.gov or whatever, that's where you can go to see what's happening on the floor, legislative actions, schedules. So you can keep up to date what they're doing. You can read these bills, see how your representatives are voting for them. And you should. It's very important that we take time to see what's going on. I mean, granted, ain't none of us are going to take the required time to read over 4,000 pages. Been there, done that. It sucks. Especially when you start getting, refer to section, then you got to scroll back up or go back 50, 60, sometimes 100 pages to see what it's referring to. They do that a lot to throw you off. And you realize, hey, wait, this ain't right. I mean, I really don't get we don't, why we can't see the corruption that's going on. Why we can't understand and see how these people don't represent us. But as you guys can see, I know I'm not talking. I'm kind of letting you guys watch this. It is a mockery that they can't put us first. It's actually just flat out disrespect to us. We need change. There's a couple things I've got in the window that's floating around. That's happening over in Europe. I mean, Brazil might as well say is in a civil war. And the family members that I've talked to and stuff, it's bad down there. And this is what our politicians seem to be pushing for us. They want us to either submit, bend our knees to their will and power, or force something to happen. See, actually, they were actually showing crap, showing the top of the rotunda. Looks like some of their kids and family are up there, but that's supposed to be for our, the people. That's why the whole January 6th incident, when they put up all those fences and stuff, keep barring the right. Congress belongs to the people. By barring us from being able to sit inside the rotunda and watch them. That's basically what they said. Basically, flat out, without saying it, but said it. You have no business in this Congress. This is not yours. This is ours. We do what we want, and you need to be behind those gates. They literally put up a wall against what is rightfully the American people. You have the right to set up in that rotunda. You have the right to listen. But here we are. It's just one smack in the face after another with our Congress, our government. I know many of us like to believe that not all of them are like the ones we complain about, but they are, because they get forced to be. You one thing I've always been accused of is having hope when hope is no longer available, or not knowing when to walk away from something that I'm fighting for or strongly feel for. And so I get it when we do these things, when we adhere to these stupid labels. I get why you do, because you have hope and faith that they're going to represent you, but they haven't. How many people, especially the MAGA supporters out there, and a MAGA, Make America Great Again, is beautiful. We should all want to make America great again. But by making America great again, it also means taking a stand when Trump says, let me endorse this backstabbing person, and who knows what the hopes are for. But let me endorse him for Speaker of the House. No, Trump should never have said anything. There's where Trump's made so many mistakes with his key appointees or endorsements. It's not what the American people want. We're tired of the rhinos. We're tired of what we're watching right here. All right, so what are we getting? Are we going to get an adjournment, or are we going to go for a 10th round? You know, guys, we've almost went past. We're getting close to surpassing.
Recording is on.
Well, that answers that question. I was wondering if we get cut off at the hour mark like we do over on the mines. So basically now they're just announcing that we don't have the majority of the votes. And they're just reading off who voted what, or not who, but their official speaker has not been elected. All right. Looks like we might be going to 10th round. Representative of Arizona just renominated McCarthy for the 10th time. So now it'll be interesting as we go through this procedure again before they call a vote, whether if somebody stands up and asks for a immediate vote to adjourn. See, it is interesting and fun to watch this because we get to see how things work, how our broken system of government works, how they abuse and abuse things. And so here's where I disagree. He's talking about how Kevin McCarthy cares about the American people. If he cared about the American people, he would step aside and let Congress elect a speaker instead of tying it up. But he don't. It's about his ego, his need for power. I mean, and here's the thing, guys. All you gotta do is research it. Actions speak louder than words. So I've been stating this for a while now because it's important. His actions do not support the American people. Have it. Go research him. Look at how he's voted on things. Look at bills and stuff. Yes, he's done some good things, but he's done far more bad things that don't support the American people, that doesn't uphold our values, doesn't uphold our rights and freedoms. I mean, it's a three-ring circus. I mean, oh, they're chanting USA. Barely. Of course, now he's kind of playing the race game. And I love how they do that. They'll throw race into it and make it about a racial matter. When actually, it's not about a race matter. It's about the legal system. It's about another broken system. It's about people that come to this country and do the right thing, that follows the broken process of the immigration system to become citizens of this country. It has nothing to do with race. It has being law-abiding citizens or wanting to be a law-abiding citizen because they came here to flee. Most people that come here fleeing the corruption, the evil stuff that's going on in their countries. They want a better chance. They want what the American dream stands for. And that American dream has been dead for a while because of this broken system right here. You know, we go back to, everyone want to make a big deal about Trump's tax returns, this and that. I'll take you back to the primaries or the debates when Hillary Clinton decided to throw it in his face and bring it up. What he said is the truth. If you don't like it, change the laws. But no, you won't, because you use the same loopholes and the same laws to make your money as I do. Truth, cold, hard facts. That's what we loved about Donald Trump. They don't fix the problems because those are the problems that make them rich. Trump didn't get in there trying to change that. Why would he? He's made his money. That's how he's made his money, through the loopholes. They can afford to have these high-paid accountants and tax representatives that know every single loophole to give them every single benefit. Well, we can't afford that. Then if we attempt it and we screw it up just a little bit, we end up in either owing lots of money to the IRS or in federal prison for tax evasion, or both, or we lose our property. We lose our things that we've worked hard to buy and own. Why? Because we have a mortgage. We have a loan for our car. So therefore, they can come and take it. Or you own it, and they can take it as assets for forfeiture. You know, I would love if some of these so-called politician, congressmen, women, and senators would listen to some of my videos. Or many of you out there, some of your guys' videos. Watch the comments. Read the comments. Read the chats. Don't run a poll that's fixed. I mean, I could somewhat do an accurate poll on Twitter because I'm just, my followers are a little bit everywhere, but majority of my followers are still more MAGA or right-leaning. Which I don't know how, because I managed to piss them off anyway. And I had a great year on Twitter. Honestly, I did. I mean, my Twitter account grew. Mainly because here late, I started talking about things, pointing things out. But still, I couldn't do a true, accurate poll because it still would be one sided. So, I mean, literally, to do a poll, you'd have to go door to door, different communities, because, and you couldn't leave out cities to do an honest poll because the demographics. We know which counties lean what way. We know that's why most people migrate or live in those areas because it appeases to their views, their political identities. So it does look like we are going to go for a 10th round. Now, I can't say nothing really about Akeem Jeffries. I'm not familiar with him, so I don't know his views. But I can easily research it to see who he is and how he votes. Is he a man of true action? Or is he just a man of words and broken promises? And that's what we need to do. You know, Twitter's growing and changing. The ability to do spaces on there is awesome. I'm not that great with it because I'm used to doing what I'm doing now. And I got to be more, you guys know me. I don't, yeah, Bree comes on from time to time, but the most part, it's just me. I don't have a co host. Maybe I'll fix that this year. Maybe I can find a permanent co host. I've got a couple of people of mine I'd love to be able to do this with as a co host. And it's people that have different perspectives, mindsets than mine. Because that's what I want. I don't want somebody who's going to agree with everything I say. I want somebody who's going to challenge me. I want to be able to challenge them. But they don't want that because when we're challenging each other, learning from each other, we're growing. We're seeing through the lies and deceptions. We're seeing through these snake oil salesmen that are talking right now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the audio from this ain't coming in. I'm going to have to work on that. Like I said, it's first time really going right straight to meets.jetsy.com and actually streaming from there. Mainly because, well, as you guys know, when I do it from my group I'm gathering, I can't share screens for some odd reason. And guys, this is totally free. It's free for your phone, free to use. Don't need to be on the minds. Yeah, you got to, if you want to stream live to YouTube, you have to have a YouTube account. As far as I know, we can't do it. From what I've seen, it's the only one offerable. But if you don't have the patience or all the knowledge to use OBS, XSplit, OBS Studios, StreamYard, Meets, Google Meets, which is free, but you can't live stream. If you want to live stream, you got to buy the premium package, which ain't bad priced. Most people are familiar with it, but I can still do more here. And once again, same names. She's nominating Donaldson. So we got McCarthy, Jeffries, Donaldson, the same ones all day with the same results because it's the same results will happen again. This is what a divided Congress looks like. They put their party lines first. No, she's speaking good. She's speaking about some of the things I've talked about. How we're frustrated with the process. We're frustrated with the broken systems. Never gets fixed. They don't bring it up. And when they do, it's all about they want the money for it, but they don't put the money where it needs to go. My issue, a lot of people talk about, yeah, Trump could put, I don't know how this is even possible, but apparently there's no law for it or rules against it. Trump could become, somebody outside of Congress could become Speaker of the House. If that's the case, I nominate myself, right? Or you nominate yourself. Not that any of these guys pay attention to us, because they look at us that we're beneath them. When no, they're beneath us. They're our representatives. And Kevin Hurd, once again, Lauren Barbett. I mean, division within their own party. It's all about division. It's a bunch of children that are crying or doing stuff opposites because they're not getting their way. So it takes about, I think about 40 minutes to get through this process. I don't think you guys want to sit through another 40 minutes of this. Especially when we already know the outcome. The same old, same old. I'm tired of the same old song and dance. I'm tired of it. Politics is beginning to make me really sick. As it's most of you, because most of you tuned out. And that's the problem. We can't tune out. We take a break from it, but we can't tune out. Because as soon as we tune out, they're back at doing stuff that goes against what we, the people, want. And here soon, I need to fix some dinner. The nice thing is we don't, I need to go about like 10, 15, 10, 15 more minutes and we'll know. Well, we'll be able to confirm what we already know, that it's going to be an 11th try. We're getting close to a 12-round boxing match here. And it shouldn't be. Plus, I still got some more packing to do. We finally got the official date, and I'll actually get some help so I can move the furniture out of here. Friday I'll be out of here, so next Friday I'll be out of here, which is kind of cool because come the 8th, the internet will be turned off and stuff. So then I can actually call the electric company and end my electric for Saturday. Yep. Then it's the continuation of finding a new job, which means once I get back to my parents to get things squared away, I got a bunch of stuff I got to do. So next week's gonna be busy. I wasn't anticipating the what happened with work, but the writing was on the wall on that they've been steadily working on getting rid of all the people that's been there for over 2-3 years, and I was there for 3 years. I'm really not mad about it because I don't know, you kind of heard me in a few podcasts and streams. It just wasn't it, But the scary part's being back out there in a unstable economy and where work is hit or miss. I'm hoping to better what I was making, which is possible. Either way, I'll be making more than when I started there. Some of the plus sides of COVID was most of the factories and stuff increased their pay. I mean, starting pay at most places now is around the $17 to $19 range. If I can get 19, I'd be happy. That's like 25 cents more or 75 cents more than I was making. And there's possibility I could get in $20 range. So, I'd be happy with whatever. A job's a job. But they're hard to find. It's not like it used to be. They were so reliant on temp agencies. Well, you need to go through a temp agency to get a job. We won't hire you through the door, and that's kind of what you need. You want to be able to be hired through the door. Nice thing is, I've added more experience to my resume, which opens up more opportunities for me. Being a forklift operator, scale operator, opens a lot of doors that I didn't have. And I'm not gonna let it get me down, because it happens. Honestly, my plans are get another job, get caught up, get all the bills that I'm behind on, caught up, hospital bills and stuff like that from this shit last year. Get them all paid off and save. Save up enough for a year, because come June, or I think either February, somewhere between February and June, my Suburban will be paid off. So that will be a bill I don't have to worry about. That just leaves me with one loan payment for my parents' roof's house, which will be mine. So that's my future investment. So I'm not mad. Like I said, technically I'm moving back with my parents, but technically I'm not, because the whole upstairs it's pretty much been converted over to a loft, and it's like an apartment. And plus, I'm not mad because my parents are up there in age. My dad's 70, so my mom's 71. I really didn't realize it. Time flies until my dad mentioned it about a couple months ago. I was like, damn. So I don't mind being around the house, being able to help out. I'm probably not going to have as sweet as job that I had, with the 10 hours. It's supposed to be 10-hour days, even though I was doing 11. 4 days a week, but there is opportunities. I can go get around the $20 range and just do a weekend warrior, get paid for 40 hours, and just work the weekends. I'm kind of thinking that because I'm used to the long hours, and I know they're always hiring, especially for that weekend position. And it's a place I can go through the door, so I'm thinking about that. I haven't stopped there yet. I wanted to hit areas of a little bit closer to the home. I kind of enjoyed my 9-minute drive to work. Well, when I'm living here, it's a 2-hour drive. So that's gonna, like I said, I'm gonna save about $1,000 moving out of here a month, and that's $1,000 I can be saving up for some property, land somewhere. I'm not gonna say where. Some of you know where I'm thinking about going, basically moving back to. But I also want, when I get the Suburban paid off, my next investment, whether it be new or used, probably be used because I'd rather pay for it just flat out. But I am definitely looking to get an art camping trailer. Why not? I've got a boat, kayak. I love going camping, and when I do take trips like North Carolina, Tennessee, or maybe hopefully someday out to Wisconsin and Iowa and visit friends out there, I can just take the camper and just camp at a campground. So that's also a plan for this year. Like I said, I've got things planned out to a certain point. There will be change on this channel. It's not going to be all political stuff. I think tomorrow night I'm going to do urban and folk legends. Introduce that because I'm really looking forward to talking about some of that stuff. A break from the politics, a break from the stuff that just brings us down because we're tired of seeing what's going on right here. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the we scream change, we can't get change. I'm tired of the same old song and dance. I'm tired of struggling while these career politicians go in there and become millionaires on a salary that can't become millionaires. But nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to put them on the spot. They scream for Trump's tax returns. Where their tax returns? Oh, they don't have to show that. And they should. They should be accountable for the office of trust that they hold at every level. And that includes showing their tax returns, showing their investments. So the American people know, so their representative knows that was where their money's coming from. It's long overdue that our congressmen and women, our senators, are held accountable and held to the same stature that we hold our president for. Those are the small steps we can take. And it only takes getting one person in there to bring that legislation to the floor. Then we can see how many of these so-called Republicans and Democrats that say they're about us and about our freedoms will vote for it. No, they'll do exactly what they did to that freshman senator or congressman that brought bills and legislation to prevent them from making money off insider trading. Told them don't ever bring it up again. We won't pass it. It took a year for them to actually get caught. Made headlines. Oh, then we find out about this junior freshman senator that had brought this very same legislation. That now because we got caught, now we're going to support it. Then when nobody was looking, they made amendments and changed it so they can still keep on doing it. And you can go back through the archives and see how they went back and re-amended it. It's sad. We're on the F, so here in a little bit, they should put up these statistics and we should know. Oh, no, we already know. They're already saying it. Do this so we can see. McCarthy does not have the votes. 11th speaker vote possible today. Once again, here we are. I actually want to point something out. The one guy said, he's talking about how a lot of these congressmen and women are in there, they're on their cell phones, not paying attention, tweeting on Twitter, posting posts, or playing games. My personal opinion, when the House or Congress or the Senate is in session, your cell phones should be banned. When you're in there supposed to be doing their job, you don't need your cell phone. Because I swear, these guys have so much, watch it. These guys spend more time tweeting than they actually do reading a bill. There's something wrong with that. I think all social media should be banned for any government device. Because we're not putting them in there to tweet or to chit chat with their misters or significant others or whatever we want to call them. That's something they should be doing on their own time, not our time. That's something they should be doing at home, not from work. Most places I work, I'm not allowed to have my phone on the work floor unless, like me being when I was a scale operator, it was needed for my job to be able to use a calculator, take a picture, document something. But other than that, wasn't supposed to be on it. So what makes my jobs any different than theirs? I can't have mine on the work floor. They shouldn't be allowed to have theirs on the work floor. And obviously they don't pay attention to comments, because if they did, they would see people's reaction to what they've tweeted. They'd see that most of the people don't want McCarthy. There's not even close to being he's a minority amongst American people, honestly. They don't want him as Speaker of the House. Just like nobody wanted Pelosi as a Speaker of the House. Because all the illegal crap that she did. When she made it so you couldn't remove the Speaker of the House. Took away the accountability and gave free reign to a Speaker of the House. No, they have to be accountable. They're not doing their job. They're not holding their job. It goes back to what I said about each state should have the right to remove their congressmen and senators if they're not doing their job. Each state should have the right to bring up ethics violations, and it should not be held. The hearing should not be held by their peers. Because he goes back to saying they're not going to turn on their own. You have to be completely and totally disliked and hated by the majority. And like I said, in my time, I only know of one. I can only remember of one that's been removed for ethics violations. And he really wasn't removed. He was allowed to leave with dignity. They let him retire. Even though the ethics committee had pretty much told him the votes were there, he was done. It's just like the impeachment. I know a lot of people, myself included, would love to see Biden impeached and a real investigation done. Not impeached before, but a real investigation done for criminal activities. because we're all supposed to be proven innocent. We're all innocent until proven guilty. He deserves that right to be innocent until proven guilty. And yes, nobody trusts the system because the legal system is another broken system. As I could tell you, getting ready to deal with that again myself. Because there's no protections for, even though you might be just as much as victim, they can't get the real culprit. They'll go after the middle guy. It is what it is, but we want change. It's like our legal system; it needs fixed. Our FBI, CIA, they need to rein in. A full investigation needs to be brought into both those organizations, including our Pentagon, who keeps losing trillions of dollars and can't tell you where it went. The IRS simply just needs abolished. And they need to rein in. They cannot be a separate entity from Congress anymore. There is no checks and balances for them. And that needs to stop. But we consider them part of our government. They are. They control our finances. They print our money. And they do it without oversight. Our government, our Congress can't even tell them what to do. We can't even audit them. And this is the stuff that we elect these people in to start changing, and they don't. They might mention it or talk about it, but in the end, we realize they're just one person versus the whole, and the whole always trumps the one voice. So they either just become passive or they fall in line with everybody else and get rich. That's what our Congress has become. That's what our Senate's become. A get-rich scheme without representation. But enough of this. I'm going to start wrapping this up here in a little bit. I do want to talk about what I'm using. Oh, shit. I didn't know that was on there. I gotta fix that, or try to remember how to fix that. It's kind of cool, but no, it's not cool. It's kind of annoying. Oh, where's that button? I'm just gonna stop that. I'll have to fix that for the next one. I guess I got a background image that I was playing around with the other day and didn't realize it. It's kind of cool though. But yeah, I want to talk about what I'm using to stream. Like I said, there's a lot of platforms have given us the ability to stream, whether it be Rumble, Spaces on Twitter, Facebook's got their own. Like I said, Google Meets. If you want to pay for those, we all loved Google Hangouts, especially when we had the ability to live stream from there. It was simple and easy. So, Meets.Jetsy is an awesome program. Simple to use. Very easy. I'm not, I'm always looking for stuff, especially free. I don't pay to play. Not on it. So when I find these free things that work, and I've been using it for a while. Like I said, I've been using it mainly over from the mines, because that's where we got introduced to it, is because gave us the ability to be able to do this from our groups. We just called it the gathering there. So you hit the button, you join in. But being over here actually on their platform, so much more I can do. I mean, it kind of almost, you have almost the same abilities from your phone. Like I said, I can be mobile. The only thing is, I can't. I would hope they would. I'm about to do some research to find out who I can, maybe send some suggestions or develop to allow us to be able to be streamed to other platforms like Rumble, whatnot. Right now, we're just limited to YouTube, which is fine for me. That's where I do all my streaming to anyway. Because I'm not going to, on Gab, pay to play. I'm not going to Rumble, pay to play. Not dealing with D Live. But it doesn't matter where we're at. Wherever you're at, utilize the tools that they give you. Utilize tools like I'm using. Free software. I mean, OBS is free to download. OBS Studio is free. XSplit is free to a certain point. If you want to unlock, the whole studio version of it, it's like $14 for 3 months to have the license, which for me, XSplit is a little way easier to use than OBS. StreamYard, which I haven't used, but I know a lot of people starting to go there too as well. There's so many platforms, so many things that give us ability to have these conversations, interact with you guys. And that's the key, the interaction. Don't forget the people. Interact, because that's where we learn. That's where we begin to. That's kind of what I like about spaces, because anybody can join. Yes, you have the ability to kick them out, but and then some of these spaces become free for alls. But you get everybody. And yeah, you do get the trolls. You're never going to get rid of the trolls. But you get other people's opinions and views, especially when their space is truly open. They let everybody talk. So, it's like me. I can give out the link, invite you in to join me like I am right now, sitting here on my couch. You can join me sitting on your couch. Or I can give you a phone number you can call in. And, I have access to phone numbers from every country. You can be able to list them. So I can, if you're in another country, I can get you more likely get you your country's phone number to call in. So you're not being charged for it. So it's an awesome tool. And like I said, I'm not going to pay to play. And I don't want you to either. Because when we start paying to play, we start giving away our freedoms and give them ability to control us and what we can and can't talk about. YouTube has a monopoly on that. Twitter had a monopoly on that, obviously, after the Twitter files. They were controlling the information. And it's because of the greed. Because their advertisers are telling them, well, we'll stop paying you for our advertisements if you don't limit these people from what they're saying. It goes against what we stand for. No, it's not about what you stand for. You're a corporation. You're not a U.S. citizen. You're not, as they put it, the Constitution don't apply to you. Yeah, it goes both ways, right? That was their ruling, so corporations can spend as much money as they want because they're not a U.S. citizen. They're a group of U.S. citizens, so therefore the Constitution doesn't apply to them when it comes to how much money they can donate to a campaign fund. So in that statistics, and I wonder if that could be actually used and fought against in court of law now by that ruling. But you have to prove. You're going to have to be able to prove. Veritas could probably prove it. Project Veritas, yeah, they probably could prove that these that's something they should investigate. That corporations are paying them to censor people. That would put an end to that. Because we have a ruling at the highest court about that. And we'd be able to argue. In fact, by doing that, we might be able to get it back into the Supreme Court to get that verdict with corporations overruled, because now they'll see and can be pointed out the danger of allowing corporations to buy elections, to buy politics. to buy politicians, to buy individual parties, because they're controlling the information. We might discuss that on a later podcast. Definitely after I get moved back in and resettled down. Before, like I said, probably next, I'll finish out this weekend with some podcasts. Then I'll probably be the end of the month, probably not till February before I do another podcast, because like I said, I got a lot to do. Moving, then finding a new job, and that's stuff that's got to come first. I might pop in from time to time, but not gonna be able to travel and do a live stream because phone's deactivated. Until I get another job, reactivate it. But I look to have a job by the end of the month, so I'm not. Like I said, I'm not worried. I hope I have a job by the end of the month. If I don't, come February, we'll start worrying. I can afford to get behind a month, but not two. But we live in interesting times. We need more people out there talking about these things, having conversations about the things that we talk about here, and some of the things we don't talk about here. We need more conversation. We need more debating. It's not about triggering people. I've been there, done that. Now, I'm happy if I trigger somebody or I offend somebody because I made them think and question things. And that's what it's about. If we're not thinking for ourselves and questioning for ourselves, we're just puppets. We're just slaves. We're letting other people control our decision making, our thoughts. That's what, it goes back to transgender, our identity. That's the big push for that, because they don't want you thinking for yourself. They want to control the narrative. They want to control your identity, who you are. It's not who you are, it's who they say you are. It sounds all good when they're fighting for you and talking about these things, but at the end, it's about controlling you. Taking your voice. They strip you of your identity. That's why why plantation owners wouldn't let slaves learn how to read and write. To be educated. That's why they would strip them of a name. Put your mark. Leave your mark. Stripping them of their identity. Think about that. Seriously, think about that. I hope you guys are having a great week. Weekend's almost here. One more day. You guys be safe. I hope you guys enjoyed. Will there be another 11th vote today? I'm actually shocked. I didn't think there would be a 10th. So, I don't know. We'll see. But, I look for this to get drug out through tomorrow. Maybe longer. Because divided we fall. A divided Congress will never represent the people and put American interests first. They put their interests first, their political agendas first. They're not representing the people. With that, hope you guys enjoyed. You guys all have a beautiful day and beautiful evening.